by courts of law. They are commitments that should be rigorously pursued in social and economic policy making. The shorthand for these rights is the MDG. The global MDG movement is becoming something that many people are beginning to think could be a scam because their fanfare produces little visible results. A lot of financial resources are wasted in the promotion of MDG, yet few countries have significantly released millions from poverty. And the one or two who have done so were not enamored with MDG rhetoric. The fundamental objectives and directive principles of state policy in Chapter 2 of our Constitution is prior and more sensible than the MDGs. It really provides directive logic for governance in developing countries. If we consciously dedicate governance to catering to this human and social security of young Nigerians, we will achieve the MDGs without making a carnival of them. A starting point in providing a future for women of the Nigerian youth would be to constitutionally mandate these rights in a language that obligates courts and other public institutions to promote and enforce them. In this, we can learn something from South Africa that made these rights enforceable in its post-apartheid constitution. The widespread unemployment of Nigerian youths should be seen as an affront to the notion of socially secured Nigerian youths, which Chapter 2 of the Constitution guarantees. There are many reasons unemployment rate is high in Nigeria, but if you care about young people, we have to tackle unemployment with care, courage, and competence. Providing meaningful work to young people is one way of enhancing their life skills and winning them away from the life of drudgery and crime. The old saying remains true, and I don't mind the devil's workshop. The present initiative on job creation and entrepreneurship, you win, is a good start. But the law should be done. For one, it's not just the federal government that should be serious about youth employment, since they have about youth employment and entrepreneurship. The states should be the main drivers of youth employment, since they have the primary responsibility of promoting the welfare of residents of their territories. Few states, if any, have a well-considered and strategic initiative on job creation and youth entrepreneurship beyond procurement-focused public works. The federal government can incentivize states on job creation by creating programs that predicate significant financial grants on the basis of well-considered and implementable entrepreneurship and job creation program. A good strategy to create jobs should be anchored on a smart entrepreneurship development program. It's obvious that our overbloated public service cannot provide good paying jobs to satisfy the ever-increasing army of job seekers. The private sector is underdeveloped to create the desired thousands of jobs without far-reaching transformative economic policies. Job creation strategy should focus more on turning job seekers to job creators. This is no mean feat. It requires unleashing the creativity of the Nigerian youth. We can see evidence of incipient creativity in the quality of art, music, and video that come out of the Nigerian market. What is wanted is a systematic and value chain initiative that discovers, nurtures, harnesses, and commercializes the creative energies of young people. Maybe there should be a ministry focusing on job creation and entrepreneurship. We can be like smart countries of the world that create ministries to reflect the challenges and priorities we face. If we cannot create a new ministry, we can restructure and rename the present Ministry of Youth Development to focus on job creation and youth entrepreneurship. This requires wholesale change of the mission and the human resources of that ministry. Starting from the minister, everybody there should be someone who understands the policy dimensions of job creation and entrepreneurship. The ministry's work will be to develop policy on youth entrepreneurship, organize boot camps, spot talents, incubate them, and link them with resources and markets that help them to become business owners. Between the creative idea and its commercialization lies a chasm that only wise grandfathering can bridge. The ministry should grandfather the creative genius of Nigerian youths. The new ministry or restored Ministry of Youth Entrepreneurship will also have the responsibility of annexing industries to youth skill development. This requires that instead of public sector training youths for various skills without caring about what the market wants, the ministry will ensure that skills acquisition programs are comprehensively annexed to specific industries that will absorb such skills to ensure that the skills are those that the industries need and can remunerate. The private sector is not left out of this. In modern economy, the private sector is a creator of jobs. Federal government's job creation strategy should include providing incentives in the form of tax relief and other fiscal incentives to companies that create jobs and provide opportunities for youth entrepreneurship and mentoring. We need to send a consistent and strong message that government rewards value creation by the private sector. Presently, private sector is getting the message that it pays to free ride on public funds. Government should adopt carrot and stick measures to win the private sector from food insecurity relationship with the public sector and burden them with the responsibility of supporting national development. The prospect of job creation and youth entrepreneurship is dependent also on the quality of education in the country. There are many stages of economic development: the extractive, the industrial, and innovative stages. Nigeria is still trapped in the extractive stage, and worse, we're not effectively investing the proceeds of natural resource extraction on drivers of economic and social development. The history of economic development in the world concludes that reliance on extraction of natural resources will not launch any country into the orbit of development. This is for many reasons, including the reason that natural resources wealth induces to waste and perverse incentives that nip away the incentive and value of creative work that produces real and sustainable wealth. Natural resources dependency comes with self-seeking that destroys the commitment to value creation. Economic development is about multiplying value creation. It's likely the prevalence of some kind of skills that determine whether a country is likely extractive, industrial, or innovative. At the innovative stage of economic development, a country has the high-end digital and analytical skills that lead to creation of innovative products and services, like Finland, like Canada, like the US, as well as other countries. It's not for nothing that Nokia or BlackBerry will be produced from a Scandinavian or an Indo-European country because of the high-end research capabilities. This is a product of the education of young people, both formal and informal. Youth entrepreneurship in Nigeria is dependent on the quality of education in Nigeria. I don't want to waste much time on the collapse of education in Nigeria. It is now folklore. But I need to say that the real cause and character of this failure may miss out on the widespread tale about failure of education in Nigeria. It is not just infrastructure and the morale of teachers that have collapsed. The value system that sustains education has collapsed. The failure of education and the failure of the Nigerian state can correlate in many ways. Just as military dictatorship put the Nigerian state in reverse, as Afrobeat King Fela once said, the military also reversed the ethical framework of education. First, by discounting the value of education in attaining important economic and political high offices, the military put a knife at the heart of the education system. By creating a system where people attend great work without valuable work, the military ridiculed forever the culture of hard work. Even admission to elite schools was no longer the result of any mental exertion, but the reward of inordinate exercise of political power. When the she-goat is chewing cuds, the kids watch keenly. The Nigerian parents have eaten sour grapes and the youths have aching teeth. The Nigerian youths have learned that knowledge and learning are not valuable in Nigeria. They have learned also that sitting down and sweating out a valuable creation is not the way to make it big in Nigeria. They witness everywhere the funerals of honesty and hard work. They now know it's no longer the way to thrive in Nigeria. The high-level political corruption, the high honors that have been awarded to charlatans and fraudsters etch indelibly in the consciousness of young Nigerians about what their country values. Not just government, NGOs, all everywhere, 3 for 1 pence awards. I give you people who have nothing to show, but probably a high degree of snobbery and a high degree of probably arrogance. Therefore, arresting the collapse of the education sector is less about rebuilding the fiscal infrastructure and more about rebuilding the ethical landscape of the education system. Educational institutions, especially universities, should be